What's up, TT World? Listen, I'm in Sam's Club to come and give me some grapes, right? I had to exchange them because I had a couple of bad grapes. These grapes are pretty good. But anyway, the reason I came here is because I've been looking and scrolling, and I noticed that President Trump and a lot of the top leaders, CEOs, they all went over to China for this exclusive meeting in China. And I also saw that King Charles of the UK has released a statement written from the government that they're deciding to move forward with the digital ID. From my proper understanding, the digital ID is where you get like a little digital chip implanted somewhere in your body, in your hand or something like that. Now, I remember driving to right outside of Philly a few years ago, and I went into CVS Pharmacy, and they had like the coolers. You know how you open the cooler, right? You open the cooler, and above the cooler up here, there was a scanner. And so I had already been hearing about this digital ID, this scanner, this putting a chip in your forehead or putting a chip in your hand. And if you don't do this, then you'll be excluded from society. Well, it's mighty awkward that President Trump and all of these high-tech leaders go over to China, and we know that China is like the largest manufacturer of pretty much 80-90% of everything created, right? And then in the UK, King Charles delivers a statement today, very powerful day, and now they're moving forward with digital ID. So, why am I coming here to say all of this? I just feel like we're at a time and place right now where everybody needs to like stack up on everything, like food in your house, essential things that you may need. I also heard that the light bills are getting ready to go up again, another 12%. So everything is happening, and I noticed that nobody is coming to save us, right? Nobody coming to save us. The government is, these people are doing what they want to do, and, we're stuck holding the bag, and now they're getting ready to force us at some point in life to be able to take this digital chip either in your hand or in your forehead, or you'll be excluded from society. And if you go look this up, you'll see that they're talking about if you don't take this, then, you won't be able to work in the UK, you won't be able to do anything.
All right, Shalom. This is the brother Yawanathan about out of Wam coming at you in another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. First and foremost, as always, I want to start by giving all praises and glorifications to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone well, peace, love, salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. Shalom. All right, it's going to be another weekly Motb video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah / response. All right, to the video, or from the video by the brother, the Hopeful Elect 3. All right, entitled the Motb, which is the RFID micro C-hip, according to the Bible, or the mark of the beast. That's what it stands for. The Motb, all right, is coming to the states near you. Okay, and as you just seen, the Jake giving his 2 cents on the Motb, and he's in the know. All right, as you just seen. All right, what's wrong with you other camps out there, man? What's wrong with you other camps? Peon Jake can see it. Why can't you? All right, just to throw that out there, let alone these Edomites, man. Okay, here it is. You're supposed to be more on a high level, but you can't seem to break down what the mark of the beast is, man. But anyways, Jake was going in on it. All right, and he was on point. All right, which he mentions it being the digital ID. Being the actual Motb or the RFID micro C-hip, which that's a big stepping point or stepping stone to it. It's not actually the mark. All right, and I asked ChatGPT just to confirm it. All right, because basically speaking as a man, hold on, I asked it 2 questions. Let me go to the first one. All right. Speaking as a man, we're technically already in that phase, man, because when you look at it, people are using biometrics, the debit cards, or which that's tangible, but like I said, biometrics, tap pay, have their identity in their phones. Okay, because when it comes to it being tangible, more tangible, we use credit, debit cards. What else? Actual money, but primarily credit, debit cards are licensed for all our information. When it comes to tangible, everything is going to be switched digitally. Okay, especially through your smartphone. So I asked ChatGPT, okay, just to confirm it. What does the digital ID consist of? Because it doesn't actually, consist of the actual chip. Okay, but they want to go hard on, making everything, switching everything digitally. Okay, so it says a digital ID or digital identity is basically the electronic version of information that proves who you are online or in a computer system. It can consist of several parts, such as personal information. I'm not going to read all user credentials. All right, biometric data, government identifiers, security certificates and encryption keys, device information, digital signatures, and authentication tokens. All right. So basically, all right, all that information is already stored in our phones because, like I said, we basically going through digital ID, man. Okay, but it's just a point where they want to push you even harder. All right, probably do away with the actual speaking as a man, the actual tangible driver's license and debit cards, and just put it all on your phone where you have to resort to tap pay or paying through your phone, things of that nature. Okay, get you conditioned more to being digital because everything, make no mistake about it, everything's going to be on it on that C hip. Okay, the end goal is to put everything on that C hip at the end of the day when they mandate the C hip, the Motb. Okay, so it's more of a conditioning process, man. Okay, and I asked it another question. Here's some examples right here, like I mentioned Apple ID, Google account, state mobile. See everything. That's why they condition you people with smartphones and shit. You know, and the internet rules everything. You basically can't run anything without the internet. So another double whammy, so to speak. Condition you with the internet. All right, so you people have been conditioned with the World Wide Web. Everything has to be done through the internet. So, hey, everybody's going to be required to have basically a smartphone or some kind of digital method of information, which also is going to be led to that Motb, man. Okay, so I asked another question. It says, does it involve the microchip? All right. It says, I kind of spelled it wrong. It says, if you mean a microchip implanted in a person, ordinary digital IDs do not require that. See that? So it's not necessarily because the Jake mentioned it being the chip, but it's not actually the chip. All right, it's a big stepping. It's just a big stepping point to the chip, so to speak. Okay. And it gives some examples right here. It says most digital IDs work through smartphones. See that? Apps, passwords, and pins, QR codes, biometric scans like fingerprint or Face ID, encrypted databases. They're doing that now. So basically, we in the digital ID phase now. All right. It's just that because I did a lesson on it last week. King Charles confirming strictly digital ID in the UK. So basically they want to move everything digitally, man. Okay? Cause speaking as a man, they probably just going to get rid of the physical aspect Most likely going to get rid of the physical aspect of IDs, like, you know, your driver's license, debit or credit cards when it comes to monetary, right along with ultimately cash. Okay? So it says some physical IDs like credit cards, passports, or newer driver's licenses, yeah, the passports too. It says may contain embedded RFID or NFC chip that stores information, but that's a chip in the card, yep, or device, not inside your body. So it's not, you know, putting inside your body. So you won't be going off using digital ID technically. It's just when it becomes the actual Motb, the actual C-hip, okay, where they're going to start implementing inside people's bodies, man. You know, that's going to be fulfill Revelations, the 13th chapter, when it says he's cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that mark in their right hand on their forehead. Because you can't, you got these clowns out here like you guys see saying the mark of the beast is a debit or credit card. Well, I mean, it contains it in it. You know, the chip is in those, but it's not the mark of the beast, because you can't implant a fucking debit or credit card in you, man. You don't, we ain't, nobody implants that in them, but they do implant that device that's contained in it, which is the RFID micro C hip. Okay, I'm going here to read the bottom. It says there are a few experimental or voluntary implanted microchip technologies, yep, used by some individuals for things like building assets or payments, because, you know, there's people out there that already got it. Okay, so basically it's already here in that aspect. As far as the Motb, the C-hip, people already receiving it, right? It says, but they are not standard requirements for normal digital ID identity systems. So basically, you know, like I said, man, we technically in the digital ID system already, okay? All right, and the Motb, or the RFID micro C-hip, okay, does not consist of the digital ID system, so to speak. Okay, it's just a, like I said, a big stepping point to it. All right, so I asked another question about the details of the UK situation, because like I said, I did a lesson on it last week in my Motb weekly lesson. So I asked, UK digital ID will consist of what? It says the proposed UK digital ID system is expected to consist of a secure digital credential stored mainly on a smartphone app or digital wallet. Right, people are already using these things, man. It's just going to be pushed harder. Hey, like I said before, they might just skip all that since they're doing it already. Just most likely just go to the C-hip, man. Okay, because they basically already conditioned people to use these things, man. So they don't really have to totally enforce straight digital ID. All right, where everybody's required to do everything digitally as far as their identification. Okay, they can just go straight to the C-hip, the mark of the beast, which most likely, I believe that's just that's exactly what's going to happen. All they need is that major false flag, man. Like I've been saying, you know. It reads on, according to the UK government, it would include your full legal name, blah, blah, blah. You know, all the information, date of birth, nationality. Okay. You know, that's already happening, man. You can, hey, I got all my information on my phone right now, man. Basically, man. Or I can have it, put in there, you know. So basically, man, hey, this is already happening, man. Pretty much. Let me see. Pretty much saying the same thing from the last question I asked, you know, concerning what the digital ID consists of. So basically, like I said, we're already in that phase, man, when you look at it. So I'm gonna get a scripture. I'm gonna close out. Let's go ahead and get Revelation, the 13th chapter. Get straight to the point. Start at 16. It says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. See that? So the digital ID that is not consistent of the RFID micro C hip. It's just a big stepping point, man. Okay? And it's already really happening now, like I said, man. Speaking as a man. Okay? They don't really need no laws enforcing the digital ID because people are already using it now. They already conditioned already to use it. Tap pay and all that, biometrics, you know. All right. I use biometric method for passwords on my phone already too in certain certain apps. Okay. Verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, RFID micro C hip, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number 666. So that mandate for the RFID micro C hip to be implanted in individuals or upon the world, except the elect or the 1/3, because they're not going to take it, right? Hell, even the elites are not going to take it. The elites of Esau or the other nations not going to take it, right? But upon the most of the world, the undesirables in the Most High's eyes, they're going to take it. The wicked peons of this world are going to take it, man. They're going to be mandated. It's going to be pushed. All they need is that major event. Because I'm going to reiterate again, you people are already conditioned by digital ID. It's already happening now, man. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm signing off by saying again, all praises and glorifications goes to Yahweh, by Hashem, Al-Shah, by Hashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone well. Peace, love, salutation to the old elect at four corners of earth. Preaching his word in truth and sincerity. I'm saying again, Shalom and Kwame Ashala. Shalom.